Tonight on News Around the World, military inaugurates court-martial for accused coup plotters. Governor Makinde approves 650 million naira grant for Lautech research farm. On the foreign scene, Syrian authorities arrest main suspect in 2013 Tadaman massacre. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on News Around the World here on BCOS television. I am Idowu Shekuni. The sign language interpreter is Shakirat Ogundeji. The Nigerian military has inaugurated a general court-martial to try 36 personnel accused of involvement in an alleged plot to overthrow the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The court-martial, constituted by the Defense Headquarters, was inaugurated today at the Scorpion Mess at Sokoro, Abuja, under heavy security. Despite the high-profile nature of the proceedings, the session was held behind closed doors as journalists, including accredited defense correspondents who had received prior invitations, were denied access to the venue. Security personnel also barred the use of mobile phones to document the arrival of the 36 defendants who were transported to the mess in an Army headquarters garrison bus. The prosecution alleges that the coup group conspired in 2025 to overthrow the government and failed to report the plots to authorities. The court has since ordered their remand in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, with an accelerated hearing scheduled for the 27th of April. The federal government of Nigeria has approved a sweeping increase in peculiar allowances and other welfare benefits for civil servants. It's noted that the move is aimed at improving take-home pay and boosting morale across the public service. The announcement was made today by the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Walson-Jack, during a press briefing in Abuja, where she outlined key reforms endorsed by the Federal Executive Council. According to Walson-Jack, the review affects workers under both the Consolidated Public Service Salary Structure (CON-PSS) and the Consolidated Research and Allied Institution Salary Structure (CON-RAIS), ensuring a broad-based impact across all cadres. She said the revised peculiar allowances have been structured to reflect across all grade levels, resulting in a meaningful increase in earnings for both junior and senior officers. A public affairs analyst, Bright Richard, has called for a thorough investigation into the unaccounted portion of Nigeria's revenue, estimated at about 37%, to ensure transparency and curb corruption. He made the call while reacting to a World Bank report on Nigeria's 34.53 trillion naira spending system on BCOS television's breakfast program AM 120. Our reporter Olamide Wolabi has more.
Concerns continue to mount over Nigeria's fiscal transparency following a recent World Bank report, which revealed that about 34.53 trillion naira was deducted from federation revenue between 2023 and 2025 through what it described as a hidden spending system. According to the report, although total revenue rose to about 84 trillion naira within the period, nearly 41% did not get to the Federation account due to pre-distribution deductions, also known as first-line charges. Reacting on the AM120 program, public affairs analyst Bright Richard explained that increased revenue generation should ordinarily lead to higher public spending and reduced borrowing. However, he noted that the current system allows deductions to be made at the point of collection rather than remitting the full revenue into the Federation account before disbursement. He added that the World Bank is drawing attention to the need for greater scrutiny of these deductions and their intended purposes.
What is actually happening is that as they are collecting, they are deducting it from the point of collection. As revenue is increasing, the deduction also is increasing. So that is just a simple summary of what World Bank is saying. Before, the cost of deduction was about 6 trillion naira, and gradually it rose to over 10 trillion, about 15 trillion thereabout. So when you look at that perspective, World Bank is raising an alarm that the government really need to look into. Why the deduction, and what is the deduction meant for? Because if you want to build a credible accounting system, you are collecting money on behalf of Nigerians and on behalf of the system, on behalf of government. Let the money get to the source. And from the source, which is FAC, distribution will be made. If the entire 80 trillion or 84 trillion naira gets to FAC, and the FIRS, or which is now the NRS, is going to remove its cost of collection, it will be documented.
Richard further argued that agencies such as the NRS and NNPCL, being government-owned entities, deducting costs at source suggests duplication and indicates systemic weaknesses that may encourage corruption. Speaking on the composition of the 41% deductions, including statutory transfer to states, he pointed out apparent gaps, noting that if the Nigerian Revenue Service accounts for only about 4%, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, alone cannot justify the main 37%. He warned that poor accountability within financial systems creates opportunities for corruption, misappropriation, and inefficient use of public resources, ultimately places strain on the nation's finances.
When the minister was trying to defend this scenario, he made mention of some statutory transfers to states. What happens to allocation? So that means if you are to examine where state governors or state get money, there are so many areas. Apart from normal allocation, now you're talking about statutory transfer. They will still have ecological funds, and other areas where they get money. You also have security votes. So if you want to really hold a state governor to be accountable, where will you come from? Where are you going to come from? Security votes? Is this revenue part of security votes that governors are not accountable for? So you now look at there are a lot of loopholes, there are a lot of untraceable and unaccountable spendings according to the World Bank.
Richard added that the World Bank remains focused on Nigeria's revenue management and service delivery, particularly in relation to the country's capacity to meet its debt servicing obligations. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
Now we'll take a short commercial break. News around the world. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria.
Coleman!
Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet. Malaria gone.
With Nivea Dry Deo, you can keep moving forward in life with confidence. Nivea Dry Deo. Derma 72-hour active protection against sweat and odor with 0% alcohol to prevent irritation. Stay dry and fresh all day long. Skin is for moving forward, Nivea is for skin. Your favorite Nivea Deo, now in a smaller pack size.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids. The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains don't be do a shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Welcome back. The State Police Command has convened a high-level stakeholders meeting aimed at promoting peaceful coexistence among herders, farmers, and other community groups in the state. The meeting held at the command headquarters in Ibadan brought together traditional rulers, leaders of Hausa, Fulani, and Yoruba communities, representatives of Miyetti Allah, farmers associations, market leaders, religious leaders, youth groups, and members of the Igbo community. The forum provided an avenue for open discussions on issues affecting security, including other farmer clashes, kidnapping, and banditry, with participants exploring practical solutions to the challenges. Addressing the gathering, the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Abimbola Oyedeji Olubenga, stressed that effective security requires cooperation and mutual understanding among all stakeholders. The meeting resolved to establish joint mediation committees across areas of commands to address disputes promptly, as well as identify and demarcate grazing reserves and farming areas to prevent conflicts. Representatives of farmers and others pledged their commitment to sustain peace, while stakeholders commended the police command for the initiative, describing it as timely and necessary. The Commissioner of Police, however, warned against taking the law into one's hands, assuring residents of the command's commitment to protecting lives and property. The State Police Command has confirmed an incident involving the evasion of the Nai community by a wild elephant, leaving one person dead and another missing. According to a statement by the police public relations officer, DSP Ayanlade Olayinka, the incident occurred on Thursday afternoon when the animal reportedly strayed into the community. Police operatives working with local vigilantes and hunters were immediately deployed to the area following a distress call. On arrival, the body of a 45-year-old man, Ibrahim Tijani, was discovered in a nearby bush with injuries believed to have been caused by the wild animal. His remains have been taken to the General Hospital in Werele for examination. During search operations, another resident identified as Alhaji Muhammadu Bingin, aged 50, was declared missing after reportedly encountering the same elephant. Efforts are ongoing to locate the missing person and ensure the safety of residents in the affected and surrounding communities. The command also noted that relevant authorities, including wildlife experts, are being engaged to manage the situation in line with conservation regulations. The Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, Abimbola Oyedeji Olubenga, reassured residents that adequate measures are in place to prevent further casualties, while appealing for cooperation with security agencies. The state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, LAUTECH, with a 650 million naira takeoff grant for the teaching and research farm at the institution's Iseyin campus. The governor was speaking at the 18th convocation ceremony of the university. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdurrafi was there to bring the details.
The final phase of the 18th convocation ceremonies of the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, LAUTECH, saw the institution awarding 2,582 graduates with postgraduate diplomas and admitted to various higher degrees. 596 graduates out of the total figure were awarded academic and professional postgraduate diplomas. 1,850 got admitted into academic and professional master's degrees, while 127 bagged their Doctor of Philosophy degree. Emeritus Professor Oluwaina, renowned professor of vocational training and technical education, who was instrumental to both the LAUTECH Foundation and settlement of ownership rift between Oyo and Osun states, was awarded Doctor of Letters honoris causa by the institution. Congratulating the awardees, the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, said the provision of 650 million naira fund was part of broader efforts at addressing infrastructure gaps and align the institution with the state's economic agenda on agriculture, food security, and youth employment. Governor Makinde, who was represented by his deputy, Barrister Bayo Lawal, also reiterated that the state government will discharge all outstanding obligations arising from the settlement of ownership tussle to Osun State before the end of his administration.
The government approved 650 million naira take-off grant for teaching and research farm at the Iseyin campus to boost agricultural research and innovation. We launched a special intervention framework to address infrastructure gaps at the same campus, including housing, healthcare facilities, ICT development, and mobility support.
In his remarks, the Pro-Chancellor Lautech, Professor Ayodeji Omole, said the convocation has now become a fixed annual event scheduled for April 22 and 23, commending the state government for its continued support and the progress recorded at the university, including ongoing developments at the Isheyin campus.
Since the last convocation, the university has continued to grow, both in scope and in impact. The relocation of the College of Agricultural Sciences and Renewable Natural Resources to Isheyin is a clear example of this forward movement, expanding access, deepening our reach, and opening new possibilities.
The Vice Chancellor, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Professor Razak Romkalilu, in his remarks disclosed that the university has strengthened its postgraduate ecosystem through improved research infrastructure, expanded collaborations, upgraded laboratories and digital platforms, as well as enhanced supervision frameworks. He described the achievement of the postgraduate graduates as a reflection of discipline, sacrifice, and intellectual strength, noting that their research contributions have advanced knowledge across diverse fields. The Vice Chancellor urged the graduates to embrace continuous learning, innovation, and excellence in a rapidly evolving global knowledge landscape, stressing that postgraduate education requires courage, persistence, and adaptability.
You have been forged in the crucible of science and arts and cast in the mold of technology. Never stop believing in yourself. Take pride in your achievements. Stay curious and never stop striving for excellence. The world is waiting for your contribution, and we have no doubt that you will make it a better place. You have earned this moment. Now go forth and secure your place in tomorrow's narrative. The future is yours to shape. May your future be filled with purpose, joy, and success.
The convocation ceremony attracted a wide array of dignitaries, including a former Chief of Defense Staff, Alani Akinrinade, retired, former Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, Commissioner for Energy, Professor Kehinde Shangodoyin, Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Prince Dotun Yelade, Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Segun Olaiwola, and Commissioner for Establishment and Training, Professor Saliu Adelabu. Others included former CEO, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Professor Segun Ajiboye, Professor Abbas Adedibu, alongside traditional rulers, including the Onkwetu of Ijeru, Asheyin of Iseyin land, and representatives of the Shawun of Ogbomoso and the Olubadan of Ibadan land. Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
We have another timeout. Please don't go away.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pulp extract. For visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, for your shade of beautiful.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains no fit do us shakara. We got the remedy, original palazza. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Glad to know you're still there. The Oyo State government has deployed a multidisciplinary outbreak investigation team comprising experts from the epidemiology unit of the University College Hospital and the clinical epidemiology unit of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, following the confirmation of 5 cases of Lassa fever and 1 death in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Oluwaserimi Ajitomobi, disclosed this during a joint press conference involving the Ministries of Health, Environment and Information, where she urged residents to strictly adhere to recommended preventive measures. Details of the event held at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center, Total Garden, Ibadan, are presented by Governor's Office correspondent Olalekan Sulaiman.
A suspected case of Lassa fever was recently confirmed in Oyo State, with the outbreak traced to a 44-year-old female index case who died on April 11, 2026, following laboratory confirmation. The Oyo State government, through the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and the Ministry of Information and Orientation, held a joint press conference to update the public on measures taken to contain the spread of the disease. Addressing journalists, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Oluwaserimi Ajitomobi, said the surveillance and response coordination have been intensified. She noted that the situation has progressed from a single case to a cluster, with infection reported in Ibadan Southwest, Ibadan North, Ibadan Northwest, and Ido local government areas. She explained that key interventions include the activation of the Emergency Operations Center, intensified surveillance and contact tracing involving over 200 individuals, deployment of the Surveillance Outbreak Response Management and Analysis System for real-time data tracking, strengthened infection prevention protocol, and distribution of ribavirin.
While the outbreak remains of significant public health concern, it is currently under active and coordinated management, and residents in Oyo State are advised to remain calm, vigilant, and to remain cooperative with public health directives. Ongoing situational updates will be provided as new data emerge, and through sustained surveillance, coordinated response, and collective responsibility, we are committed to interrupting transmission and safeguarding the health of our people.
The Commissioner also commended Governor Seyi Makinde for prompt release of emergency funds, which facilitated swift response effort. She urged residents to store food properly, maintain clean environment, avoid contact with rodents, observe good hygiene practices, and seek immediate medical attention if they experience symptoms such as fever, vomiting, or bleeding. In separate remarks, the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Prince Dotun Oyelade, the Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Engineer Ademola Aderito, and the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Olasukami Olaleye, represented by Dr. Akibu, pledged continued collaboration with relevant agencies to curb the outbreak and enhance public awareness.
We're also doing serious inspection of all those storage methods that they are deploying to ensure that there won't be any room for any form of rodent infestation, which could facilitate further escalation of our current situation.
The cautionary measures should be strictly followed by our people, and that's why we are here as media practitioners particularly, to ensure that in very simple language and with consistent and re-angling of the enormous implication of this disease is made known to the public.
Also speaking, the Chief Medical Director of the University College Hospital Ibadan, Dr. Jesse Otegbayo, represented by Professor Bukola Adesina, commended the state government for its prompt response and assured that all necessary resources will be mobilized to contain the disease. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
The Oyo State government has signed a concession agreement with a tourism firm to transform the iconic BCOS Tower in Ibadan into an international tourism destination. The agreement was formalized during a document signing ceremony held at the press conference room of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Agodi Secretariat, Ibadan.
The Oyo State government's decision to concession the popular BCOS Tower in Ibadan to a private firm is a part of ongoing efforts to reposition the state tourism sector for growth and sustainability. Speaking on the concession agreement for the development of the iconic site, the Director General of the Oyo State Investment Promotion Agency, Mr. Folami Olatilewa, outlined a phrased plan aimed at transforming BCOS Tower into a major tourism hub and economic asset. Olatilewa explained that the agreement will run for 15 years, with the concession period set to commence only after the completion of the first phase of a 24-month moratorium. He added that the selected private firm has been given between 18 to 20 months to undertake a comprehensive rehabilitation and modernization of the facility in line with global tourism standard.
In land, there's something called interest. We've transferred a concession interest to the concessionaire for 15 years for them to bring the assets up to date and increase the experience of the tourists coming to the assets. For 15 years, they're going to have the concession, and there's going to be a revenue split between clearly the investor and the state. However, we're going to give them 18 to 24 months to rehabilitate and update the place, and the 15 years will start counting after it's open for business.
The Director General noted that the concession framework is structured to ensure sustainable financial returns for both parties while preserving long-term value for the state.
What you are witnessing today is progress milestone in the expansion of our economic sector. During the last year's tourism summit, we introduced what we call the 5 focal assets, tourism assets, that we believe we can revamp and bring in private investors to expand the economic base. One of those focal 5 is well known to all of us, the BCOS Towers. After the tourism summit, we asked investors to come forward and work with the states on a public-private partnership to take these assets and increase the economic value of these assets for the benefit of the good people of Oyo State.
In his remarks, the managing director of the private firm, Obafela Bank Olemo, who led other members of the company, commended the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde for its merit-based approach. He noted that the concession aligns with the state government's broader strategy to unlock the economic potential of the underutilized public asset through public-private partnerships. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
You're still watching news around the world on BCOS television. We have yet another commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids.
All right, welcome back. The former Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, has acknowledged President Bola Tinubu for the opportunity to serve in his administration and make meaningful contributions to national development. He stated this during a reception of thousands of supporters who welcomed him back to Ibadan, Oyo State's capital, as he officially joined the governorship contest under the banner of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Adiola Ladile, who was at the Ibadan airport and later at his Jericho residence, reports.
A warm and enthusiastic welcome was extended to the former Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, also known as Penkele Mercy, as he arrived at the Ibadan airport, denoting his return to Oyo State subsequent to his resignation in order to participate in the governorship election. Dedicated party members, loyal supporters, and enthusiasts gathered in significant numbers, showcasing banners and reciting slogans to demonstrate unity in celebrating his participation in the race. Following his arrival, the ex-minister made his way to his office in Jericho, Ibadan, and described the reception as overwhelming, reflecting the lasting support and goodwill of the populace.
Arriving in Ibadan, like you said, 24 hours after my resignation, gave me some feelings and some sense of nostalgia. I feel so proud. I feel so humbled to see that mammoth crowd that came to welcome me.
Chief Adelabu expressed gratitude to his supporters for their unwavering loyalty, requesting their continued support. He highlighted that his ambition is rooted in a passion to serve, pledging that his tenure would focus on infrastructure development, security enhancement, and promoting prosperity for the people of Oyo State. He also debunked claims that the Olubado of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has endorsed any candidate, reiterating that traditional institutions should remain distinct from partisan politics.
Politics, culture, and tradition are three separate things that should not be mixed. Ibadan tradition is rich and is respected. We will not mix it with tradition. It is an insult on our revered king, Olubado of Ibadan, for people to really know that he has a candidate for our party.
The governorship aspirant emphasized the role of unity